Hey.
Hey, hey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me change this because I can't see y'all. We need to slide over on the couch or something.
Let me slide
Y'all,
over.
do we need to slide over? Honey, I need to slide back. What's going
I feel like I got the big face.
on? Yeah, there
That's
we
how I
go.
always feel.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Home Buyers Clubhouse. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I'm a Triangle Realtor with A to Z Realty. And for those of you guys who's never been in the clubhouse before, we go live every Wednesday and every Friday at 12:30. On Wednesdays, we're giving something inspirational. On Fridays, we're giving something educational. I had to think about that. It's been a while. Miss Erica, introduce yourself, honey.
Hey, I am Erica Batts. I am your mortgage loan officer with New American Funding.
And Miss Nicole.
I am Nicole Crawford. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Realty out of the Greensboro area.
All right, for starters, let's just do a little housekeeping before we get started. If my microphone falls, just keep talking and just mind your business. This thing is kind of holding on right now. I'm working from home today. But anyway, welcome. Today, y'all, look, we've been doing our home buyer seminars all week. What we've done credit, we done the home buyer seminar last night. Tonight we're doing the FAQ session, and today we are talking about 5 mistakes first time home buyers make. How is it possible to even make a mistake buying a home? Is that even possible?
It is.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all
Absolutely.
before I even get started on this. We always talk about the 10 Commandments and all of that stuff of buying a home. And if y'all want to tell them what they are, you can. But the other day, my buyer closed, right. They've been driving their company truck the entire time. They always on the company car. Every time I see them, they're on the company car. They've been in the contract for what I say, 450 some
452
days,
days. I think you said
52
452.
days. Yeah, 452 days. I was sitting in the car minding my business because I had an appointment before I went to the walkthrough. I look up in my mirror, I see this burgundy car pulls up behind me, nice SUV, and I was like, I hope that's the builder. I know that's not my buyer because I know they know everything. They called me and said, Jesse, I'm thinking about doing this. Can I do this? What do you think? They've always done it for those 452, 54 days. They've always done it. And when I saw this car, I said, this, I'm just like, it took me a while to get out. I said, oh God, please let this be the builder. It was my buyers, but it wasn't a new car. It was their actual personal car. But my heart dropped. I almost died 3 times. I said, y'all, please tell me this is not a new car. So yeah, that's mistake number one. But that's not even on my list.
And even
So
co-signing for somebody, I think in one of the real estate groups, the young lady was talking about that her deal fell apart because the husband co-signed for someone other than his wife.
oh,
Right.
I love how she put that, y'all. Did you see how she put that?
Hmm. Yes.
It was meant to be. That was God. That was God. It was meant to be.
You know it was a cold night in that house that night.
Ooh, and was he don't know because he won't dare. What you
Right.
talking
Exactly.
about? Anyway, y'all, today we talk about 5 mistakes that buyers can make. And look, y'all, we always say 5. We start off with 3 and it turned into 10 and 20 and 40, and we've already named about 3. But we do talk about that a lot here in the clubhouses. Don't co-sign for nobody. We've said that 1,000 times. So if you're buying a house, you may want to join some home buyer groups. And one, I know they're great. It's called the Home Buyers Clubhouse. So you definitely want to join that group on Facebook. I think it's Home Buyers Clubhouse. Yeah, that's it. So yeah. So 5 mistakes first time home buyers make. So most people they always dream about buying a home and they know exactly what they're looking for. They know what they want to spend on their mortgage. They know everything. They know the neighborhood. A lot of the times, they know where they want to live. They know what they want. They know how many rooms they want, but they don't consider a lot of important things whenever they're thinking about buying a house. Okay. And this market right now is very hot. It's a hot housing market. And when it comes to heavy competition for the homes, people are making like all cash offers, a lot of stuff that you really, really, really need to take into consideration. And even before you think about buying a home, okay? So let me get started. One thing is people don't, and y'all may not agree. Y'all may not agree with what I'm about to say, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. Then whatever. Okay. So they don't take into account all their options. But we say this a lot here. So this is one that we all agree on. Although a lot of people they're purchasing their home and it's often the best financial decision you could ever make, but it doesn't work for everyone. And what I mean by that is if you know you'll only be in this house for a couple of years, and Erica, we talked about this before. If you know you're only going to be in this house for a couple of years, it may not make sense to buy a house after you amortize the closing costs for that time period. What do y'all think about that? Because to me, it is a lot of money into buying a house, but it's also a lot of money whenever it comes to renting as well. But it just kind of depends on, the interest rates and all this money you're about to kick out in closing costs at this time. What do you guys think? See,
I still think it's worth it, because it's because you're also your closing costs a lot of times is offset by the equity that you gain. So for me, I think it's worth it. I've always been a proponent of home ownership, just because for most people that is your largest asset. So it's your largest bill, but it's also your largest asset. So if somebody said, "Listen, I can guarantee that you're going to have the same payment for where you live for 20, 30 years," who wouldn't take them up on that?
But remember this though, if it's only a couple of years, because sometimes, especially in this market right now with these higher interest rates, some people are paying more for a mortgage in some markets.
And some people are, but then it's also where you say, okay, look at the affordability of it. If it makes financial sense to you, then because renting is 100% interest.
You're right. Nicole?
Absolutely. I was going to say the same thing Erica said. I mean, I think each individual is different, but there's not many circumstances where we see that it does not make sense to jump into the home ownership. Everything that you put into that apartment or somebody else's house is theirs. So you're not gaining anything from that. So I say always make it make sense. But at the same time, a lot of people out here are saying, well, I'll just rent. And when I drove by a house yesterday, that's a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bath, that's less than 1,300 square feet, and the rent was $1,745. That's a nice house. That could be your nice house. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they had remodeled it, but it wasn't that nice for $1,745.
Look, the one across the street from me is 1,900, and I know that's
well, because and I think it's because people right now, they know what the market is, and all of these companies coming in that's paying all this great money, they know that those people have to find a place to live. But then that also does not take into account your lower income workers, your people that work in fast food or grocery stores, the things that keep our community going. Where are they going to live?
Absolutely.
Do your research. That's where it comes in. Always do your research. And for the people that listed their property, it's been on the market for a while, so I knew it wasn't priced right, as a rental. And they bought it. They bought the house, they fixed it up, put a new AC unit in, fixed it up, and whatever. But that number you threw on there, you're gonna have to do a lot better than what it is because
Well, especially when you look and see what the competition is and what they can get somewhere else for $1,750, it's like, no, I can get 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms or whatever. That's a lot bigger than 1,300 square feet for that particular amount of money. So, yeah.
This is why I love the Home Buyers Clubhouse. We're gonna have like pros and cons. We're gonna tell y'all. So here goes another one. And again, this goes back to what I just said. So it's pretty much the same thing. A lot of people don't consider like the other costs whenever they're buying a house other than their down payment. They don't consider the homeowner's insurance. They don't consider the maintenance or any HOA association fees, closing costs. They don't realize that these things may eat up their savings and leave them with no emergency fund. Ladies, y'all know I'm just reading it to y'all. I'm just giving it to y'all what I see here. So I
I,
love to hear y'all opinion because I know how we feel and how we think in the Home Buyers Clubhouse.
I agree with that because there are other expenses, just whether it's maintenance, whether it is inspection fees when you're buying a house, all of those things that a lot of people don't tell you about. So now, if you use all your money, now you don't have anything left to, whether it's just buy some furniture, whatever it is that you want to do. So I feel like don't go all in, or either, if you're part of a union, then use one person's income instead of two, or those kind of things. So I think there's definitely things you can do to offset that.
And we say that a lot here. Just because there's no down payment, it does not mean that you don't have to pay for anything else whenever you close on that property.
Right.
Definitely. Erica, I want to say, girl, I love your hair. I ain't get to tell you when you
Thank you
log
so
in, but
much.
I'm loving it. It's nice. I saw you when you came in the studio. I said, okay, look at her.
Look, just
Okay.
this sounded a little bit different, but I certainly appreciate it.
It looks so fresh. It looks so nice. All
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Okay. Let me move on to the next one. Number 3. They don't get a home inspection. Look, I've actually had maybe 2 or 3 tell me they don't want a home inspection. They don't get a home inspection. A home inspection is no way to cut the cost on the house, y'all. We talk about this a lot. You do not want to cut the cost on buying a house by not getting a home inspection. The defects of a home inspector may find a lot of things that outweigh the price of your home. So you definitely don't want to pass on this. Ladies, y'all can come on in, then y'all can tell me some issues you guys have found during a home inspection. What's the worst thing you guys have seen or heard?
Um,
Mm.
sorry. Well, as a lender, I don't really get to see the home inspection too much. I have
Right.
seen some where, a deal may have fallen apart because of what was found on the inspection. I had one lady recently where hers was the radon. There was like an old septic tank in the backyard, and then when they did the soil test, they determined that it was hazardous material.
What?
So yeah.
Wow. What about you, Nicole? I see your face. You think
Because
it?
I was gonna say I've seen it all, but what comes to mind for me is I had a client that we went to go look at a house, and walking in, I knew she was gonna say this is the one, but my gut was saying, please don't buy this house. Please
Mm-hmm.
don't buy the house. And as we're walking through it and we get to the basement, you can see the cracks in the brick in the basement. And I was like, well, we first thing we need to do is we need to get a structural engineer out here to check this. I'm letting you know this is an expense. But when we did that home inspection, the home inspector said, Nicole, all I'm gonna tell you to tell her is run. Just tell
Yeah.
her to run from foundation issues. They had a pool. The pool had a crack in it. You name it, that house had it. And she was still standing there with me trying to figure out how we could get it fixed. And the home inspector called her back personally and said, hey, normally I don't say this because, there's programs out there that you can get to
Yep.
fix the house. He said, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can invest enough money where this at some point will not be a money pit for you.
Yeah, that's what a home inspector told me. He said, I don't normally tell people not to buy your house. He said, especially like first time home buyers. He said, if you are a first time home buyer, I do not recommend that you get a fixer upper. He said it because I had this house we were at when we were talking. This buyer on this hand, that home inspection was flawless. He had to actually look for stuff. The same week, I had another home inspection, and that house had everything under the sun. Like you said, the crack in the wall. I was like, look, there's a crack right here in the wall. Normally, it may not be. There's an indication of maybe some structural issues or the dug, etc. You telling them, and I just couldn't understand why he wanted this house compared to all the other houses. This house, obviously, you can just see it. You can see the roof. You can see the floors. You can smell the mildew. You can smell it. But at the end of the day, it's our job to show you and kind of guide you. But we're not inspectors. We can't tell you what not to do. And the inspectors can't really tell you. They can point it out and say this could be an issue, and we recommend that you hire a contractor to take a look at it, someone that's licensed. But yes, I agree.
Or either you find somebody where they did some unpermitted work or, you know, stuff like that. And it's just like, ain't none of this up to code.
Man, and sometimes you can see it. Like you just walking around like, oh God, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like I tell my clients, sometimes you can't see it, and that's why it's very important. This house looks pretty. It looks very pretty. It looks very nice, but you don't know what's up under these floors. They just put down. You don't know what's hidden behind this paint that they just painted on these walls. You don't know. And one of my buyers was saying, like, why is there always stuff in the closet? I said the leaks are always in the closet. And I was explaining to them that's because a lot of the times when people paint their house, they're hiding all this stuff out here. The first place I look is in the closet because sometimes they forget to paint the closet. So yes, that's the tip for you guys. Check the closets whenever you're walking through these houses, because a lot of the times the people they're so in love with the house, and as the agent, look. You can go check it out, blah 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 blah. But I'm in these closets and I'm looking, got my flashlight, like because you have blinders on sometimes because you're so in love with the house.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next thing is they don't fully expect their home to appreciate in that. I mean, they fully expect their home to appreciate in value. So a lot of the times these buyers, they buy the homes, they dump their life savings into these properties, and in a few years they're expecting to get their money back in that big old equity, that piggy bank that we always talk about. But sometimes that's not always the case. So how would that happen, or why would that happen, ladies? Y'all
I,
know
I,
that.
I
Go
tell
on.
everybody, first of all, we don't have a crystal ball to be able to predict what's going to happen in the future. None of us
Mhm.
can be able to tell you whether or not there's going to be a natural disaster that takes everything out, and we can't control those things. But when you're looking at whether or not if you have $20,000 in the bank and you have the ability to buy a home versus that $20,000 sitting in the bank and you go rent somewhere else to stay. 9 times out of 10 of me being in this business 13 years, I've seen more people waste that $20,000 than
Mm-hmm.
versus having something that even if it didn't appreciate and next year you're able to get your whole $20,000 out, you wouldn't be able to get your $20,000 back out the stock market if you put all of it in. So
Right.
it's the same concept. It's going to build over time, it's not a quick thing. The appreciation builds over time. What we've seen in the last few years is records. We've never seen it go up this fast and this high. But if you have the opportunity to take advantage of it, you take advantage of it. Real estate is one of those vehicles that you can use it to build wealth, but you have to have time in to build it.
Definitely. That's good. That's great. That's a good example. And that's you like you say 2020, we're not going to always have a 2020. 2020
Right.
people saw like, ooh,
Well, just like
$100,000 in 6 months.
well, I would say from a personal standpoint, I had like when I bought my house, it took 20 years for it to go up $50,000. But then in the last 2 years, then it jumped up $70,000 over that. And you know, so it's not, it was never a okay, and this is gonna be my retirement plan. But
Mhm.
you know, so I feel like you can't really look at it like that. But what it did provide me was a stable place to live for the past however many years.
Definitely. Definitely. And ugh, I'm never mind. I'm going to stay on topic. All right, let's move on because you're about to take me to a different place, girl. You're about to take me
Listen,
to
come on now.
I'm gonna stay on topic. I'm gonna stay on topic. All right. So the last thing that I have, and I know you ladies can add some other stuff on, but the last thing that I have is that they don't consider their debt to income ratio before looking for a lender.
Mhm. I
So,
have that all the time where you get people with, you know, I had a person with 33 credit cards. And, you know, it was like, listen, this is not going to work. We're going to need to do some things different. So we ended up still, you know, being able to do it, but they had to do some work. They had to pay off some things, you know, all of those things had to be done before we could proceed. And so you thinking about, oh, but it's just $300, but $300 20 times, that adds up.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
does.
I be trying not to take stuff personal. So we gotta keep you right. You right.
Listen,
It
ma'am.
adds up. We have to remember sometimes because Nicole get quiet and I get quiet. And then it's like everybody's quiet because we feel like you talking to us, but we know you ain't talking to us. And our job here is to teach the audience. But sometimes we do take stuff like you talking to us sometimes because it's almost like you talking to us. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? I think that we all have been in a place where we've had to learn a lesson.
Absolutely.
And even if though we're in this industry now, but maybe it was before we got in this industry, it could be while we in this industry. We ain't perfect. We all rowing that boat at some time.
Yo, one thing I can tell you about the Homebuyers Clubhouse, it has helped me open up all those layers of things that I've gone through over these years so I can help teach other people like all my issues with my credit, all the stuff I've gone through, places
Mhm.
I've lived and where I've been. It has pulled back all those layers because sometimes you do have to dig in deep down inside so you can help others and give back to others. Because a lot of people look at us and they think that we're judging them automatically, and we're not. We've been there, we've done that.
I
Been
will
there.
definitely say been there, done that.
Exactly. Y'all want to add on anything else? I try to go like with stuff that we don't talk about all the time, and a lot of people because they hear the stuff, the Ten Commandments and all of that. But add some
Hmm.
of those things in real quick if y'all want to before we go and wrap it up.
The only thing I was gonna add to that is that a lot of times when people want to start looking for a house or they're ready to purchase, they're looking at credit. There's a whole lot to that pie that needs to be considered. So, like you were
Mhm.
saying, your debt to income ratio, you need to consider savings. You need to consider how long you've been on your job. We don't want to deter people from getting started and reaching out to the lender because it's great to do it even if you don't think you're ready.
Hmm.
But understand it's more than just the credit score. So I've had so
Yeah,
many people that get the credit score and then they're mad because we go back and they can't do anything because of the debt to income because they have all these student
hmm
loans.
in this market.
So exactly. So when you actually talk to that lender, have them look at all of it with you. Look at the fact that you have $150,000 worth of student loans that need to be paid, and how is that going to affect me? So those are conversations to be had. And if you don't know for yourself, the best thing to do is ask.
And
I
we
was
say this all the time. Be honest. If you try to be on, I'm trying to hide stuff. We can't help you if you're trying to hide stuff because guess what? It's gonna come up sooner or later.
exactly, and I will say definitely reach out and let's have a conversation about it because there's some people where yes they filed bankruptcy 2 years ago, so now their credit score is a 750. But then when you look at okay, but you still had late payments since you filed bankruptcy, so now you don't qualify, or the different pieces of the puzzle. So it all has to come together in order for you to get an exception.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else, y'all?
One thing that struck me when we first started, I was going to say, is a lot of times we want things to come easy.
Hmm.
The home buying process can come easy to some people, but
Yeah.
it's not easy for everyone. But that does not mean quit. I have about maybe I can think of about 6 or 7 people that I've worked with over the last year that decided I'm going to bow out because I can't buy instead of sticking in it and staying with it.
Yes.
Now, if you come back, we're in a whole different market, and you can't now afford what you were looking at before last year. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's best to get out our comfort zone, feel a little uneasy for a little while, and keep going. Keep pushing at it because I guarantee you, the ones that
Mhm.
stuck with me, now that the market is changing, I've had one go under contract on new construction. I've had one to be able to get her FHA contract house under contract. Those type of things eventually happen. You just have to stick in it and keep going.
Yes.
I
And
agree.
that was the last thing I was going to say. In this market, it's very important that you work with an expert, a real estate agent. Stop. You can go on any website and pull up anything that you want to pull on up and get all types of false information. In these groups, they have false information. The person you need to speak with is an expert in the industry, a real estate agent, a lender, a loan officer. Them. Stop listening to your family. Rely on these experts. We are here for a reason.
Well, and then for most of them, if you're trying to buy a house, the services doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you to get a real estate agent. It doesn't cost you to talk to a lender. There's no reason for you not to reach out to somebody to try to help you. Because you're the expert in whatever it is that you do for a living. If you're a welder, if you're whatever, that's your field. Let us do what we do.
Absolutely.
Definitely. All right. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I am a Triangle Realtor with A to Z Realty. And you can reach me at 919-818-9854. Miss Erica.
Hey, I am your loan officer, Erica Batts with New American Funding. You can reach me at 919-608-7916, or you can reach me on my website at ericabatts.com.
And Miss Nicole.
I am Nicole Crawford. I'm a realtor out of the Greensboro area. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. I can always be reached on my cell, which is 336-457-3007.
You guys, y'all can reach us in the clubhouse at www.thehomebuyersclubhouse.com. You can find us on YouTube at The Homebuyers Clubhouse, and you can find us on Facebook in our private group and on our page at Homebuyers Clubhouse. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Actually, we'll see you guys tonight at 8 o'clock. Then we'll turn around and see you again on Wednesday. And we hope you guys have an awesome evening, have an awesome day, have an awesome night, have an awesome weekend. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.